Hey guys, it's Spidey here with another episode of Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now, in the previous episode, we travelled from Manchester to Swansea, and you can click on the top right hand corner of your screen to check out that particular video, and also episode 1 is going to be there, so you can have a look at the first 2 episodes that I have created. And in this scenario, we're going to be travelling from London to Brussels. And as I mentioned earlier on, that in episode 3 we're going to be doing a Euro transfer, which means that we're going to be travelling from the UK into basically mainland Europe, which involves France, Belgium, Germany, Poland, and a few other places as well. But we're going to just go as far as Brussels today, which is the capital of Belgium. So, let's begin, shall we? So, as we usually do on these episodes, we turn on the engine, and because it's night time we have to turn on our headlights, and this is going to be another challenge as well because I'm about to drive in, let's say, night mode, so this is going to be quite fun, and we should arrive in the early hours of the morning. Now, I know that there is a bit of a time difference as well between here and Belgium, as it's 1 hour ahead in Belgium, so in this case the time on our ETA dash says 9:09, but that might go to 10:09, and if it does, then we know that the 1 hour ahead timer is actually working. So yeah, we'll see what time we actually get there. So yeah, okay, so let's begin. So checking the mirrors as usual, and blind spot check, release the handbrake, or the parking brake actually in this case, and let's get rolling. So checking the mirrors, no one behind me, and I think because it's night time it's quite quiet, so this is going to be a good smooth exit right here. There we go. Yep, there's not a lot of traffic, so it's going to be good. Just watching that black car there, seeing, because he was going quite fast around the corner, so it's always good to observe whilst you are, you know, turning corners, let's say, in a city like this. And it looks really, really nice, London, and it looks a lot bigger than Manchester, to be fair. Well, I mean, it's the capital, so what do you expect? But yeah, so we need to give way here at this roundabout, so it's the roundabout and it's the third exit, so I'm going to check my mirrors and then signal left, because that's where I'm going to be intending to go. There we go. And we're going under a bridge. I think this is one of the bridges that's in the south part of London. But I don't really know London that well, apart from the tube and also the ferries and also the cable car, which is I think between Woolwich and somewhere near the Thames, Docklands or something like that. So the speed limit is 30 miles per hour, so I need to make sure that I maintain 30 miles per hour. There's a car in front, so I must make sure that I keep a close eye on him. Okay, now he's gone, so we can now focus on the road ahead. And as you can see, the lighting is starting to you know, brighten up a bit, which is actually a good thing. And this is probably one of the cargo holds that's based in London. I think we're probably near like London City Airport, because that kind of is what it looks like and what it reminds me of, so yeah. Okay, we're now leaving London and we're going through the countryside now. Well, I'd say the city stroke countryside, shall we say. Okay, so we've got a sign there for Dover, so we're going to check our mirrors and signal left. Brake, 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 brake. That was a good, you know, speed check there, because of the fact that, well, it's still, as you saw on that sign there, it's still 30. So I'm going to put cruise control on. And I don't know if I have put cruise control on in the past. I think I might have. But I know sometimes it's always good to actually, you know, get the feel of, you know, the truck without using cruise control, let's say. But in some cases, you may have to use cruise control, you know, if you want to just try and keep a good speed, let's say. see we've got some trucks going past. One that's carrying lots of cars, or broken down cars, I'm assuming. And there's also one that's carrying some oil. Got a lot of gypsum boxes on the left there, as you can see. There is a lot of them, and it seems like that they're looking for, you know, trucks to collect and, you know, deliver stuff. But yeah, at some point, probably episode 4, we'll start, you know, a scenario, like a main scenario, where I actually, you know, take a gypsum box and take it to, you know, well, or truck or trailer, sorry, and take it to wherever it needs to go. So hopefully we'll have that in probably episode 4. This is just, I think that for the first 3 episodes, this is just going to be like a practice drive, just to, you know, get the feel back into ETS, because it has been a while since I have played ETS. Yeah, so now we're on the motorway. The speed limit is going up to 60. Now I'm maintaining, you know, my position in the middle lane because I do not want to turn off, as that is towards Felixstowe, which is what I do not need. I need to go to Dover. I could have gone to Southampton, but that's in the wrong direction. Even though you can have, I think it's either 2 or 3, you know, particular transfer routes or transfer, you know, transportations to get into, let's say, France. I know Southampton, you can go down to somewhere in France, and then you've got like Dover, and then you've also got like Newcastle. And you can also get to the Netherlands from, you know, these particular parts as well. And I think if you've been to all of the ports, you do have an option as to which route you want to take. So as you can see now, we're crossing over a bridge, and there's a bit of traffic in the first lane there, or the left lane. So I'm just maintaining a good speed. And it looks so picturesque. As you can see, dawn is just breaking. This is probably the twilight hour, even though it's 3:42 in the morning. So I'm maintaining 60 here. So as you can see in the speedometer right there, that we're travelling around 55, 56, something like that. And so far, the traffic is going very smoothly. So we've got 234, 33 miles until we arrive into Brussels. And once again, you can see that we've got the arrows again, and this will now join into a dual carriageway, and then probably, well, this is the A2, and then probably after, when we've gone through a couple of junctions here, it'll be a single carriageway, which means that there's only one road. Do apologise for a bit of lag there. I think it's because of all the textures, and also the, you know, the objects are, you know, being slowly generated into the world. But now we're back on course, so that's actually a good thing. And as I said earlier on about cruise control, as you can see, I am slightly, you know, behind. Well, I'm actually behind a few of the traffic here, and this is why I said about, you know, having the feel for the truck and stuff, and feeling for the speed. You know, it can actually help you, particularly if you're kind of like, you know, just being complacent, and you've left cruise control on because you thought, oh, well, what the hell, I'll just leave cruise control on, the truck will brake for me. Well, I can give you the correct answer right there. It does not allow you to actually brake automatically. It's not like plane, so that's why you have to make sure that you know, either push the brake pedal or turn off cruise control. Sometimes it's very hard to distinguish if you've turned off cruise control or not. So yeah, okay, so now we're going to turn off here, so we're going to check the mirrors, we're going to signal left, and we're also going to let the truck coast. There we go. And then we're going to brake. because it's a little bit of a tight road right here. But we made it, so that's a good thing, and we need to give ourselves a little bit of speed, and it's telling us to go left. So we're going to check our mirrors. There we go, and round we go. Now that was weird. I saw a sign for Dover going to the right, and then all of a sudden I see a Dover sign saying straight ahead. Well, I think it's because of the direction of where we're going, so that might be the reason why. And yeah, so now it's time for me to actually, you know, introduce my poll. And this is going to be based on, you know, the next game that I am going to play next. So you have 3 or 2 possible games to choose from. So I'm going to put that in the top right hand corner of the screen, and you can decide which game you want me to play next. And I'll give you a list of options as well. So, okay. I'm going to brake, because you can see we've got a bit of an accident there, so we need to you know, proceed with caution there. So I did brake, and I did see the police car, so that was good. I judged the distance between myself and him, so we can now, you know, accelerate up to 60. But because I'm turning right here, I'm not going to actually accelerate 60, otherwise I'll crash into that barrier. So mirrors, no one behind me, so it's always good to signal even if there's someone behind you, because it's good practice. But usually I just don't really need to put the signal on in real life if there's no one behind me, but obviously there was someone behind me, so it was I set a good example really. So we're going to check the mirrors, and we're going to signal. Actually, do we need to signal? Yes, we do. So signal, quick check the blind spot, and it's safe to join. We're on the A20 now, which is going to take us all the way to Dover, hopefully. We were on the A2 earlier on, so it seems like we've times it by 10, and we're now on the A20, so coincidence really. Yeah, there is a lot of A roads around this, you know, south part of the UK. I think it's because of the fact that, well, since we've left London, there's a chance that there's like more A roads than, you know, M roads, let's say. There's a car in front, so I'm going to just check the mirrors, signal, blind spot check, and there we go. Now, of course, that car tried to overtake me, but he failed because of the fact that, well, the distance between myself and also the road merging into, let's say, a single lane was closer than what he thought. So that's why I had to accelerate quite hard and, you know, rotate as, you know, as appropriate. Okay, so it seems like we're going to the Channel Tunnel. So this is probably Southampton's thing. So yeah. But we're not far from Dover, so it's not too bad really. So we're going to now turn. There we are. So I thought we were going to get the ferry, but no, we are on the outskirts of Dover though, even though I did say Dover, but oh well, Southampton is not it's not far away, so now we've got to see where we need to go. So it's this lane right here, so I'm going to accelerate, and then we're going to let the truck coast because of the road being quite you know, steep. There we go. Let the truck coast and level out. There we go. There's no one behind me, so I'm going to just pull in here. And there we go. So now we've got to travel to our destination, which in this case is Calais. So wait for the loading screen to come out, and here we are. We have now landed in France. There we go. So I'm going to just reverse out a little bit because I want to make sure that I give myself enough room. Right, there we go. And it's 5:45. So now I need to make sure that we drive on the right hand side. This is going to be a bit of a challenge because of the fact that, well, I haven't been driving in Euro Truck for a while. I have been travelling around, you know, mainland Europe most of the time, but in other parts I have been travelling around in the UK. So yeah, I do kind of mix up the two, especially when I'm leaving like a garage and I don't know which direction I'm actually going. So we're going to figure out if I have memorised the way in which the roads work, let's say. So checking the mirrors, slowing down, making sure that I'm in the correct lane right there. So there we go. Now as you can see, there's a stop sign right there, so we have to stop dead and then go. That's how it works. Okay, there we go, and hey, we did it. So I'm now in the correct, you know, position of the roads. Let's say now roundabouts. Here we go. Actually, no, sorry, we need to turn left here. Yeah, got overexcited all of a sudden. Oh, I'm heading on to the A16 now, which means that I have to kind of like go right and then left and then right and then left. It's crazy. And here we go. So this is a nice little long stretch of road, and now the speed limit does still apply, so I need to make sure that I maintain 60 when I'm, you know, leaving this junction. Checking the mirrors, signal, quick check of the blind spot, and it's safe to join. So there we go. Bit of a near miss there on that car, but oh well. He actually pulled out in time. Must have throttled it when I was joining the motorway, so yeah. Now, welcome to France, or Bienvenue en France. I do apologise for any mispronunciation. I did do French, but it's been a while since I did French. So yeah, I mean, I know a few of the phrases, you know, general phrases like salut and bonjour and au revoir and you know, on y va and stuff, you know. Now, usually when I'm on the multiplayer version of this game, I sometimes have trucks that come, you know, on the opposite side, and they start, you know, honking me, saying hello, and I was like, oh, hello, so I honked back, and you do get that sometimes. So yeah, it's because we're just travelling past, you know, and with the servers being, you know, non-AI traffic, you know, enabled, let's say, then that means that the roads are just completely, you know, owned by, you know, the players, and the players can just, like, you know, drive free as the wind, shall we say. Okay, I'm going to turn off the headlights now because it's starting to get really bright, and we've got 111 miles to go, or 110 now, but it was funny when it had 111 miles to go till we arrive into Brussels. Now, I wasn't sure if that was a hard shoulder, but oh well, I am maintaining, you know, my my speed accordingly. As you can see, it's going up to 57. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom out on the sat-nav to see how far we need to go. But we not need to go and turn at this moment in time because of the fact that, well, you know, we just have to, you know, maintain a good observation right here. So it's starting to get busy now. It's rush hour now in France. So I'm making sure that I, you know, keep an eye on that truck in front of me right there. So he's turning right, and I'm going straight on, which is actually a good thing, because if he was in my lane, I would have to brake and slow down pretty hard because of my speed at the moment, 59 miles an hour. I know that in Europe, they measure speed in kilometers per hour, and that kind of gets me a little bit, because it feels like you're going faster if you're in kilometers per hour, whereas in reality, if you just convert it back to miles per hour, it's not that fast. Oh, we got fire services right there. Someone must be trapped in one of those cars. Oh dear. Yeah, there's loads of accidents that you usually see in the UK, especially of just motorists who don't even have the patience to be a good driver, let's say, or if they're in a rush to get home or whatever. It's not going to work because chances are is that's going to ruin other drivers, let's say, experience, let's say. So I'm coming quite close to that truck there, so I'm going to just release cruise control right there. And I believe that he might be turning left, as am I, so yeah. Got 68 miles to go. So we've gone into double figures now, from triple figures. Okay, so we're going to turn left here, so mirrors, signal. I'm going to just gonna swoop around here, there we go. And then, there we go. Now, I know that when it comes to motorway driving, just by swooping isn't really a good idea, but when I just said swoop there, I meant I'm going to just kind of rotate quite quickly, let's say. But swooping is when you kind of accelerate really, really, really hard, and your speedometer goes up, dramatically, or quickly actually, or rapidly, let's say, and you kind of switch lanes without even indicating, let's say, because otherwise you'd smash into everyone and cause a massive pile up. So that's why we don't accelerate quite hard in a truck. I mean, yes, trucks can have powerful, engines which will allow them to go faster, but if there's other motorists on the road, it's not a very good idea. And also, it's going to lead you in hefty fines, as well as speed camera charges, and you'll lose quite a lot of profit, and you may even have a criminal record if you are causing death by dangerous driving. In the UK, that's one of the main top laws that always keeps getting broken by some people because they don't even have a common sense, let's say. There we are. So we're now moving into a single lane carriageway. Okay, we are now entering Belgium, and we've got 1.5 hours to go till we arrive into Brussels, which is not far now actually. So we are actually making good time. Accelerate quite hard there just to see what's in front of me, and there's a truck in front of me, so I need to coast. There we go. Well, there's a coach actually, not a truck. Can't see with the light shining on me. So now we need to maintain a good speed, and I'll put cruise control on at about 25, so let's just see what he does. Hopefully it doesn't break. Right, there we go. Got lots of sunflowers out today. I'm quite impressed that this truck actually has a big fuel tank, and I've only used just over a quarter. Well, under a quarter actually of fuel. Okay, so there's no overtaking, so it seems like that truck is actually accelerating quite hard. Well, only just. And this is the problem sometimes, is that if you get a slow driver that's kind of going under the speed limit, it's very hard to distinguish what's going on the side. I'm quite tempted to overtake him, but at the same time I don't want to crash my truck. Okay, so we're coming up to a another turning in a minute. And this seems to be quite a nice little trek through, you know, Europe and since we have just literally left Paris, well, not Paris, France, I think we've done pretty well. I thought that was going to be a lot slower than I expected, but in fact, in reality, it was quicker. So it seems like the sat-nav did its job, really, of picking the quickest route. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to be turning around this bend right here. Got the police right there. And we're going to signal left. And there we go. I do apologise again for any sniffling. That's because I've got a little bit of hay fever. So now we can accelerate quite hard. As you can see, we're going over the motorway. And I can see Brussels in my sat-nav. And wow, what an amazing view. Okay, we need to brake, because we're coming up to some lights. And then we're going to signal right. Just move slightly forward, and there we go. Magic lights right there. And here we are. We are now in Brussels. And speed limit is in kilometers per hour, but I'm going to say it's around 30. So now we need to turn right, going into the garage. And what an amazing city. Like, I've never been to Brussels. Well, not in real life. But also not in the actual in-game. So it's a magnificent sight. But I know that in real life, it's a lot bigger than this. And this is where the European Parliament is based. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to turn left. Whoops. Didn't realise that the light changed to red then. But oh well. No accidents have occurred. There we go. I know that sometimes you are allowed a few seconds even if it goes red, so that's actually a good thing. But there was no accidents, so it's all good. There we go. So now we're going to reverse in, and let's see if I can get the parking right, actually, because I've just forgotten about that. There we go. Actually, no, I don't think there was a light there. Well, there might have been, but oh well, doesn't matter. Like, I think it just turned red after I went past it, so there we go. Okay, so handbrake on, and there we go. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, this particular trip from London all the way to Brussels via the French port, which is Calais, and yeah, so be sure to vote in the poll, as I said earlier on, and don't forget to check out my previous 2 videos. Thanks for watching, and see you later.